and welcome to an uninspiring episode of We Only Look Thin.
Uninspiring?
Very. Warning. Parental advisory. Stop listening now if you want to hear anything inspiring about how I've lost 155 pounds, because it's not going to happen. This isn't even a joke, everybody.
So, who are you?
I am Catherine Weigel, and I have lost 155 pounds, and I only look thin, and I'm going to talk more about that today. Who are you, Donald Weigel?
I am Donald Weigel. Spoiler alert, you just said who I was, and I have lost a little over 100 pounds, about 102, 101, I don't know. Depends on what day it is.
Are you inspiring?
I feel like I'm kind of inspiring.
Well, that's super duper for you. I am not inspiring today, and I'd like to talk about that.
All right, do we need to, work up some fancy, reverse audio of the "we're an inspiration" and, do it in reverse?
Just, play it backward, like
the inspiration is going back
sucking back
inside instead of coming out?
Yes. This is a sucky episode of We Only Look Thin.
Wow, you're not really trying to get a lot of listeners here.
Well, if you're listening, you're already listening. So that's on you, people. You have other things that you could be doing.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So
Catherine, why don't you tell me, how are you doing? What's going on with you?
Well, first I would like to maybe read a little poetry to you by our great American poets, poet laureates, really. The poet Chumbawamba. The great American poet Chumbawamba.
Wow, yes.
The third.
Yes, Chumbawamba the third, who was poet laureate under which presidency?
I think it was Coolidge.
Calvin
Coolidge. In America.
Right.
With the inspiring poetry of the definitely American Chumbawamba, I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. I'm trying to do like a Shatner also. You're never going to keep me down. And then it goes on to say, he drinks a whiskey drink, a vodka drink, a lager drink, a cider drink. We're not going to focus on that part.
We should not focus on the multiple alcoholic beverages with lots of calories in them.
No, but we're going to get knocked down. We're going to get up again. And
that's the part we're talking about right now.
Great American Chumbawamba. I don't know why I think it's so funny to say that. So today is Saturday, and I feel like a human garbage person today, and I think weight loss is stupid, and I hate it. And
are there non-human garbage people, by the way?
Oscar the Grouch is...
That's a little scary.
I don't know. Weight loss is so stupid, and I hate it. I don't want to do it. So that's our podcast. How do you feel, Donald?
I'm very tired. I actually feel very proud of myself. I navigated a gauntlet of free food yesterday.
I would like to hear more about that, because that actually inspires people. We had people who said that they had a hard day and then realized that you go through gauntlets. So why don't we talk about you for a little while? You didn't work very much yesterday.
Yes,
because technically part of it was today.
It was
like yesterday you only worked 10 hours, but today you worked 15 hours or something.
Yeah, I worked on Thursday, I worked 16 and a half hours. And on Friday, I can't even do the math right now. I worked about 16 and a half hours again. Now that I'm thinking about it. I got to work about noon, and I left work about 4:30 a.m. A.M. the following day. And during that time...
Did you have any opportunities to eat paella?
I had some opportunities to eat. I don't know if people know this. If you work in the movie and TV business, you know this. Yesterday was the last day of filming on the season of 10 episodes of the marvelous TV show I'm working on.
I like how they have the word season and wrap, because it makes me think of burritos.
We're putting some seasoning on our burrito.
Seasoning and wrappy things. So, you wrapped.
And it was the last day. And on the last day, the caterer usually goes bananas.
They don't hand out bananas.
No, they don't serve bananas. But they had, whole lobster tails and steak. I'm not sure what kind of steak it was. I'm a vegetarian, so everybody. And I didn't eat the lobster either. But they had a full-on, build your own pasta bar, which I could have destroyed.
Well, because, and I think too, did you ever think that maybe they did the bonanza because they have to get rid of all the food that they hadn't used, so it was like super discounted?
I hadn't considered that.
They stacking them deep, selling them cheap.
Yeah, they just found a seafood truck and boosted a bunch of 2-week-old lobster tails off the back. No, but it looked pretty amazing, and I could have completely destroyed the pasta bar, and then the network, in their wonderful magnanimousness, bought us an ice cream truck, and they had about 80,000 flavors and sundaes, and I could have just gone in line and gotten as much as I wanted of that, and I
just
avoided it.
Just put your face under the soft serve and just gobbled it all down instead of getting... Luckily,
That's
you've had
right.
a lot of work to do. Like, shutting down a show for Donald does not mean he doesn't have work to do, which is why he didn't get home until 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and then at about... after the ice cream truck was right after dinner, and then at around 10 or 10:30, they had a paella truck show up.
Paella.
Yeah, paella from a truck. And I've actually I don't know if I ever had paella before, but anyway, so I tried the paella and it was magical. But I weighed it and I used the calories that were in the Fitbit calorie thing, and I tracked it. And then I had to be at work for another 8 hours and not eat all the food in the world.
Did you know that going back to bananas, did you know that when you put banana into your Fitbit app and try to track it, 50 things that are not bananas come up first, like bananas Foster, bananas Jubilee, banana bread, banana boat, banana split. Like, all of those come before the bananas. You know why? Because everybody wants to eat that other stuff first. And then it just gives me ideas and triggers about things that I would like to do with bananas.
Yeah. Exactly.
Aside from peeling them.
Yeah, same thing with strawberries, too, by the way. It does the same thing. It's like everything but the actual fruit strawberry. And... So anyway, and strangely enough, I just ate I bring all my food that I'm going to eat for the day, except for the paella I had, in a cooler bag. I pre-track it, I weigh it in the morning, and I just eat out of that. And people all day were like, hey, are you going to go get some lobster? Hey, are you going to go get some ice cream? Like, hey, there's paella, etc. And I just kept eating my sad food out of my... No, it's not sad. I mean, maybe it's sad.
It's a little sad. It's a little sad.
Out of my bag. And one of the guys, actually, our stunt coordinator, actually said, what are you doing? And I said, I've had a weight problem my whole life. And he said, you don't look like you have a weight problem. Like, what's the deal? And so I pulled out a couple of photos, and then he insisted on showing our producer the photos. And then it became this whole thing where I was showing before and after photos of myself, and everybody going wow, what did you do?
You were disgusting.
Yeah, you were a horrible, awful,
away from the paella.
human being. And asking me what my magic trick was for losing weight, and being very disappointed when I told them that I counted calories and I walked a lot.
Okay, so I know I've said this before, but I sometimes listen to our podcast to find motivation and inspiration because I change directions like the wind. And I was listening to...
She's like the wind.
She's like the wind. I'm basically Patrick Swayze. Oh, no, wait. I'm Baby? I'm Baby in the Corner.
I don't even remember.
This is the Baby in the Corner
podcast. I don't
podcast.
remember what song that was from. Is that
from Dirty Dancing?
That's from Dirty Dancing?
Yes.
She's like the wind?
Yes.
Okay.
So anyway, I am like the wind, and I listen to my podcast to remind myself of those moments when I am inspiring. And I was listening to our One Weird Trick episode, and I was reminded of the time when someone... asked me how I had lost weight, and they made the little stapling motion at my stomach, and they were like, how'd you do it? One weird trick. And I was like, sensible diet and moderate exercise.
Yeah, no one likes to hear that.
And they looked so disappointed. But I think you look like a thin person, very much so. And I also seem to be a thin person, and I am not a thin person today. I want to eat all the things, and I went to the mall, and the Jerk Store Mall opened up a new bakery, and they were pumping out the smell of butter and sugar into the walkway. And
was it because they were actually baking those things, or were they just pumping the smell out into the mall?
I didn't stop to ask, but I wish, when we go on walks in the morning, there are times in our exciting neighborhood where the smell of rotting garbage, it always happens at the same place.
Oh my God.
But no, we walk through
You're
areas.
making it sound like we live on Skid Row.
Adjacent.
Yeah.
No, but there are, shops and restaurants that have dumpsters.
I know exactly what you're talking
dumpsters.
about. Yeah.
You know the spot.
No, there's a particular spot that we have to hold our breaths by every day.
And we have to hold our breath. And I was reminded of that, but the opposite, because it smelled like butter and sugar and warmth and happiness as I walked through the mall. And I had to hold my breath because it took every bit of fiber in my being to not want to eat all of the things.
Because you wanted a bread hug.
I wanted to hug it in my mouth. I wanted to masticate it.
Wow, I don't know if that's appropriate language.
Talk. Yeah. Oh boy, it smelled so good.
All right, now we're just having sexy talk about food.
And then I had to pass the candy shop where they stand outside with free candy to entice one to go by. And
that should be illegal.
And I look like a thin person. And so, they'd be like, oh, why isn't that thin person enjoying one of our candies for free?
They tell you from the time you're little not to take candy from strangers, and yet there we are at the mall. Just all the candy from the strangers at the mall.
Jumping in white vans full of candy to pet puppies in my mouth. But, I was in such a terrible mood about it, and I just felt here we are, inspiring. We're speaking at a weight loss conference next week, and I just need to keep it together for 7 days because I want to eat all the things. And just talking about it right now, lessens the pressure that I feel about it, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, can you just for a second, I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, but can you read from another poet laureate yourself?
Yeah.
And
when he says myself, it literally means myself.
And quote, I would like to hear the inspirational quote that you posted on we have a Facebook page called We Only Look Thin, and we try and keep people accountable and try and keep people on track. This is the inspirational quote that Catherine, she made an actual meme out of this.
Yes. So usually it's easy does it, or today's the tomorrow.
Hang in there, baby, with a cat on a tree limb.
This is today's inspiring musings by me, poet laureate of my living room. I guess
I'm gonna sit back and
and click and okay.
Beat clap.
So here's what I said: weight loss is stupid, and I hate it, and I want to eat all the things. So that is how I'm feeling about today.
That's just poetry.
But, there is something about not talking about it. I know we're supposed to be inspiring and we're leading people forward and people rely on us for motivation and inspiration, but we're keeping it real. And today, Donald was sort of horrified that this is how I'm feeling. I was like, I want a podcast about this. He's like, but we're inspiring and we're speaking at a weight loss fitness convention.
Yeah, the next weekend, we're at a big convention in a convention center.
With badges. We have badges.
We have badges, everyone. We are official. We are speaking at a convention, and in my mind, the reason for the convention happening is because we're going to be speaking there.
No,
yeah.
I mean, the last 10 years that it's happened was just a precursor to us, and we're changing the face of fitness.
It's all led up to this, people.
We are changing.
I think we should open with that. It's all led up to this, people.
Yeah. So Donald is a little horrified that I wanted to talk about hating weight loss and it's stupid and dumb, and here we are.
She wants to suddenly try and gain all the weight back before the conference next weekend.
Ugh. It's stupid. I hate weight loss. But here's the thing: all feelings pass. And so I'm relying on that to get me through today. And honestly, in the past, if you're thinking about how you feel about your body or weight loss or eating healthily, talking about it candidly and being awesomely uninspiring like me can actually reduce the pressure one feels about how you're feeling, because I actually posted a video on our accountability group talking about how stupid and dumb everything was. And after I did that, I actually felt better, and almost like, if you're walking across the desert with an ice cube and you want to show people who have never seen ice what an ice cube is, and you're rushing across the desert to get there. As I told Donald I wanted to podcast about this, I started feeling better, and I started feeling more in control. And I was like, we better podcast now while I'm still angry, because the ice cube of hatred for fitness is melting right now, and we need to talk about it.
Man, the ice cube of hatred. I like that. Oh, that's going to be the name of my memoir, The Ice Cube of Hatred. I want to see if I can get that as my nickname.
No, but like our Justice League, like the opposite of the Justice League, like that could be our like ice cube of hatred is our League of Doom, kind of. Yeah,
and you're speaking my language when you're talking about superheroes. But I think really the point here is that is to get past the old. I mean, I can't speak for everybody listening, but the old me would hide these.
This is our podcast. I'm speaking for all you people out there. You listen up. Oh wait, they're already listening.
The old me, the old me would or the old you, I think, would hide these feelings and just go eat in secret and just live with the consequences of that and pretend that nothing was going on and that everything was fine. And I think that it's important to make that mental step. And I think one of the things that we've said over and over on this podcast, and that we keep saying, is that dealing with the mental side of weight loss is the part that people ignore a lot. And you have to get rid of those old behaviors or shed those old behaviors. And I think that it's good. It's a good sign that instead of just retreating and secret eating or what you might have done in the past, that your instinct was, let's podcast about how cranky and that you don't want to lose weight is. I said that very well. Can we go back to the ice cube of hate thing? Because I think that was good.
But, I mean, to Donald's point about how inspiringly uninspiring I am, I think it can feel so lonely when we think that we're the only ones suffering and when we're retreating into bad behaviors. And I must say that posting about how much I hated weight loss and how stupid it was inspired other people to also say how stupid it was. But I think it released some tension and some, when you hear someone inspiring like us, you can think to yourself, darn, I wish I had what they had. Why don't I? And now you have what we have, which is nothing good to say. Yeah. But it feels lonely when you're, when you're in the middle of a binge or secret eating cycle, and it can feel very lonely. And I think talking about it and sharing about it and speaking one's truth. Do you speak your truth, Donald?
I try and speak my truth. Last night when I was being grilled about how I had lost the weight, showing my before and after photos.
Wrapped, seasoned, paella.
The people that were talking to me were like, but you've got it down now, right? You're good. And like, it's, you must be in some sort of routine where it's easy now. I was like, nope, no, it is not. It is difficult every day. Like, I feel like I am like, I'm navigating a minefield of obstacles every single day. And I'm basically, doing this from scratch from every single day. And,
every time you give some sort of analogy, it sounds like food. Like, you said scratch, and I was like, scratch biscuits. Like, I'm serious.
I think this is where your brain is going.
Don't judge me. I like food. That's why. Yeah. That's how we got here in the first place. We wouldn't even have a motivational podcast if it wasn't for food. So, really, thank you, food, for being so delicious.
Oh my goodness, I think that's not the right way to look at this.
No, but it is a constant battle, and I know people who are farther along in their weight loss adventures who have a looser grip on the situation, where they don't give binges as much emotional weight, if you know what I mean. Like today, just thinking about eating, it's not like Minority Report. Like just thinking about wanting to eat all the food doesn't magically put the weight back on. It's the action you take from it. So Tom Cruise, I don't think, is going to come through the window and arrest me for thinking about eating baked goods.
It'd be cool if he did, though.
Hey guys, here I am.
That's your Tom Cruise impression?
Hey guys. I've never seen Minority Report.
But you've seen Tom Cruise. Hey. You know he doesn't sound like that.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, guys, it's Tom Cruise.
I don't know. I'm not an actor. I just play one on television.
Stick to doing Borat. Stick to must be nice.
So
I'm not even sure Borat actually ever said must be nice.
I don't know. That's none of my concern. It's mine now. I own it.
Yeah, it's yours.
I'm going to patent it. Hey, guys. So what? How do you feel? Because you said you got through all that. You ate some paella. You tracked some paella. But you're feeling good, and I'm scaring you with my desire to.
Yeah, I hate to be this guy, but I feel like doing victory laps right now. Like last weekend was Father's Day, and I'm dating this podcast, which you're not supposed to do because this is going to air well after that. But I had decided ahead of time that I wanted to go, because it was Father's Day, go to a particular sandwich shop and have a particular sandwich, and they have amazing milkshakes there. I should stop talking about food on this podcast. Well, it is a weight loss podcast. I don't want to inspire somebody to go out and get a milkshake, though. That's the problem. And I decided I was going to do that, and I was going to track it and, spend the rest of my day eating Wise, and
potato chips.
Instead of cracking Wise, you turn like everything into
Cheese
food
it,
now.
Crackers.
Yeah. And wow. And I didn't even finish the whole sandwich, and I was very proud of myself, and I ate a sensible dinner, and that was basically all I had the rest of the day. And I woke up the next day, and I went right back on my plan, and I was solid the whole week, and I navigated 2 16-plus hour days and got through it. And this is turning into the yay me, pat myself on the back hour, but I feel great. And then I woke up after very little sleep and lots of work, exhausted, and you're like, I'm cranky and I want a podcast.
That is basically your life with me, so you asked me to marry you, so this is really your fault, all of it.
Yeah, that's true.
But I also experienced the same sandwich experience on Father's Day, and I ate half of my sandwich as I had set out to do and felt great. And I actually had a business trip this week. Grandma Business was not in attendance. It was a solo trip.
Grandma Business!
And did great the first night. And shared an entree with Cindy, who we've talked about on this podcast before. Hello, Cindy.
Hello, Cindy.
She's a real three-dimensional person and not an internet stalker. She did not catfish me, which is also a delicious breaded food.
Oh, my God. You're out of control.
I am out of control. Food is bad. But it was only like a 36-hour trip. But the second day, I YOLO'd it. I went and roamed it. And it was delicious. And it was not in Rome.
Other logic loopholes.
It is, but I got in 19,000 steps for the day, but I also got in lots of treats that I won't describe to you. And I've been just struggling the last few days, like just going over my calorie limits. And so I'm choosing to reel it back in today. We're going to a wedding this evening. There are probably going to be some treats to enjoy this evening. And so all morning, sitting with my discomfort, sitting with my crankiness, talking about my crankiness instead of holding it in, holding my breath as I passed the bakery helped, and owning my crankiness about it helped, because I was really close to giving in to doing a few things that I knew I would regret, and I got through it. And honestly, talking about it here is making me feel better. Is it making our audience feel better? Let us know. Is this making you feel worse? Do you feel hopeless now? Because you see that we are broken people.
Even after losing all of this weight, we still have these struggles every single day. Does that make you lose hope or gain hope?
Well, and I think too, like in the past, and I've said this before, I would, and Donald said that I have made progress, but I would have, given in, and then I would have avoided the scale for 3 months, And then none of my clothes would have magically fit. And now, I had a bad few days, and I'm owning it, and I'm choosing to fight past those cranky toddler emotions and stick to my plan. And it's not the thoughts that Tom Cruise will bash your window through for with.
Hey guys, it's Tom Cruise.
Hey guys, you thinking about paella? Over there? I don't know why he talks like that. Suddenly he's from Chicago.
Not even remotely like Tom Cruise.
But it's not the thinking of the thoughts that make failure. It's the action that one takes. So I can stomp my feet about it and be cranky and get past it and share that I'm struggling. And honestly, for me, knowing that other people have either felt like that in the past or are feeling it now, it helps to talk about it, and to hold it in just builds up more pressure. And so I feel better. I feel like the opposite of how I felt at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, you're starting to sound more like your inspirational self. I would say that you got knocked down, but you got up again.
What?
Ain't nothing gonna keep you down. I think I just sort of misquoted it. But
But it's a process, and no emotion stays. Like, if you feel cruddy, you're going to feel great again at some point. And if you feel great, you're going to feel cruddy again. And then you get back up, and you get knocked down again. And then you get back up again. And
yeah, and it's about not throwing away all of your progress, or not deciding to stop and not getting rid of everything just because you've had a day like this, or because you've had a business trip where you YOLO'd it, or you went and roamed it, or whatever other logic loophole you used.
And it's true, and it's that, really thinking about it, like, okay, so what happens if today is the last day of weight loss? Like, what does that look like? Am I willing to eat secretly in my car for 4 hours today while you were sleeping because you worked late? No, like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm a grown woman, and I need to take responsibility for myself. So I can't unlearn what I have learned about weight loss and accountability. Sometimes I stray, but I correct much more quickly than I did in the past. And so I think it's just staying aware and staying present.
And now you're inspiring me to stay on track.
Fantastic.
Well, I think that's enough of our inspirationalness for this week.
I know, we've turned it around, though.
Yeah.
And you've helped me. And you were scared to do this podcast because you were afraid I was going to be my real self. And I was, and it turned out okay.
It turned out okay. It turns out that Catherine's real self is okay.
I am okay. This is the okayest episode that we've done so far. So
thank you very much for listening. Sorry, Catherine was going to thank you for listening, and I cut her off.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You can find us on Facebook at We Only Look Thin.
You can find us on Instagram at We Only Look Thin.
We tweet once in a while at We Only Look Thin. You can email us if you would like, weonlylookthin@gmail.com. Please, if you have a moment, if you rate and review us on iTunes, that helps us out quite a bit. And if you have any feedback for us, any suggestions for the show, you want to throw out things that you do when you have a bad day or when you're feeling like giving up on all your progress.
Have you written poetry or haiku about how stupid and dumb weight loss is?
Oh, we could have a haiku contest.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Stupid.
Yeah,
I'll flesh it out.
You can't just say the same word over and over again and call it a haiku.
No.
Doesn't work that way.
No. So thank you so much for listening. And no matter what, no matter if we are uninspiring, no matter if we say that weight loss is stupid, just know that in the end, we still really are an inspiration.
The information that you hear on this podcast is for informational purposes only. The hosts are not medical professionals. You should always consult with your doctor, nurse, or other certified health professional before beginning any diet or fitness program.